In a world where quality business information is needed, we bring you On the Mic with Mike, the leading social enterprise business show in RVA. Join Mike King, the partnership guru, as he delivers game changers in Metro RVA. On the Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Join Mike Monday through Friday because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program in the area. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with me. The views expressed here are mine. I have no connection to, support, of agreement with any other host, information, or ads on the station. I don't work for the station. My program just airs here on a daily basis. The sounds you're listening to are emanating from the Mike King Biz Studio, which is the global epicenter of social enterprise business. Join me as On the Mic with Mike. We highlight partnerships, people who showcase people out there making a difference, and we want to showcase RVA in a different way. I'd like to thank our show sponsors, Tom Childry, the credit card guy. If you have credit card merchant issues, Tom Childry is the man. We also like to thank Rob White, Fast Signs, as well as Andy Teller and Junk Luggers for helping us stay on the air and offering free airtime to nonprofits and businesses on a regular basis. To follow me, you can follow me on social platforms, hashtag Mike King Biz, hashtag On the Mic with Mike. Today we are joined with Will Melton. Will, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for allowing me here.
All righty, name of your business really quickly. And then
Exponent 21.
Exponent 21. We're going to dive into that. Will and I are joined today by Mr. Miller, who is the CEO of the Richmond International Airport. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. How are you?
We're doing good here. So give us your background really quickly, how you ended up at the airport, and then we're going to talk about the part that the airport plays from a business standpoint in the area.
Sure. I started in the aviation business. I guess in my college career, I was introduced to a new program, Texas Southern University, which is an HBCU.
Shout out to sir. I have to stop you. I went to Lincoln, so the first.
Where's that?
No, don't start. And it's the Lincoln for Pennsylvania, not them folks out in the Midwest, so I always stop everyone and say, thank you for joining on board, but we were the first. But a real shout out to all the HBCUs out there.
Indeed. So I was introduced to a new program. I was undecided at the time. I was doing pretty well academically. I just didn't have a major to decide, and I was recruited. It was an aviation science program. I enrolled in it. And by the time I was a senior in the program, I accepted an internship with the Houston Airport System. Turns out I started off as an intern there, worked there 27 years, wound up retiring from there. I was, during my career there, I worked probably every inch of those airports that you can imagine. It had 3 airports: George Bush Intercontinental Airport, which is the large hub international airport; William P. Hobby Airport, which at the time was a medium hub airport. My last project was to convert that from a medium hub domestic airport to a medium hub international airport. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But the third airport in that system was Ellington Field, which was a joint use airport. Joint use meaning it's shared with the military. So after I worked there 27 years, I accepted a job in Jackson, Mississippi as the chief operating officer. Worked there 3.5 years, and from there, I accepted the role as president and CEO of the Richmond International Airport, where I currently reside. So it's been quite a hike over 30 years in the industry. I love what I do, and just to give you a sense of what an airport is, think of it in terms of a small city in regard to the Richmond International Airport, because every discipline you can think of that a city manager might manage takes place at the airport. We have our own fire department, which is a specialized fire department that is equipped to extinguish fires on aircraft that quickly set engulf an entire fuselage if not attended to quickly. We have our own police department, which is skilled on handling regulations pertaining to transportation security. We have our own accountants, we have our own managers, we have our plumbers, airfield electricians. So anything you can think of takes place here. So that's kind of what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, ESPN Richmond, Mike King here, Mr. Miller from the Richmond International Airport. Will's hanging out with us as well. Really quickly, so you went as an intern and left 27 years later. Can you talk? Yeah, that's that's when something worked out. That's really when it worked out. Can you talk about opportunities for people going into the aviation business?
Sure. I mean, as I mentioned, there's a wide range of opportunities. I love to talk with kids about what I do. So anytime I can go to a school, elementary school, middle school, high school, talk about this, I always take advantage of that opportunity, because the first question I ask is, hey, what do you think you can do in an airport? And obviously the response I get is, well, you can be an airline pilot, or you can work as an air traffic controller. But that's not the only career path that you can pursue in my area, in my industry. As I mentioned, you can, if you choose not to go to a degree, pursue a degree, you can work as an airfield electrician, which is a highly skilled, well-paying job. There are, plumbers that work here. We have, and if you do decide to go to school, there are, accountants here. There are procurement specialists here. So, people that work in my environment also work for TSA, right? Ensuring that people who board the passengers, boarding aircraft in a manner that protects everyone. There are FBOs here, which are fixed base operators. So think of a fixed base operator as a small terminal that's there to facilitate people who fly in private aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have 2 of those on this airport. So, all in all, I have about, we probably affect about 16,000 jobs in the community, but I have direct and indirect responsibility for just over 2,000 badged employees.
Alrighty, Richmond International Airport, if you're getting the inside info, there's always great fanfare when something happens out at the airport. Yeah. How do you woo other airlines to come? Because that's when we hear it's like, oh my goodness, something big happened at the airport, that they're flying to the West Coast. And also, we always talk to the folks at tourism as well as Greater Richmond Partnership about luring business. And can you talk a little bit about what that means, the part that the airport plays into it?
Sure, that's an excellent question, because many people think that it's the airport that does all the work in attracting an airline to provide service to the community. But actually, it's a partnership between some of the entities you mentioned, the partnership between the chambers, partnership between the academic institutions here. So when an airline is looking to provide service, they want to know, am I going to have ridership, right? Am I going to be able to fill up an aircraft? So I have to convince them, along with other community leaders, that the service will be used. Take, for example, we just, we opened up, we petitioned an unnamed airline, to provide service to the West Coast. Well, this airport had not had West Coast service in 20 years. Or at least I'm not aware of West Coast service being provided from this airport. When we provided that service to Los Angeles and Las Vegas, it was with the notion that they would have the ridership that we promoted. When I first arrived, I had several business entities saying, we want that service, we will use it. Well, the unfortunate thing is COVID hit, and so the business community stopped flying. When we got the service, we had a significant number of leisure travelers, but we didn't have the ridership from the business community that we really needed. So we lost part of that service. We lost the Las Vegas service. We lost Los Angeles temporarily, But I believe strongly that we will get the Los Angeles service back. If not another, if not and or another stop over in the West Coast. Make sense?
You know what? It does make sense. So when we look at what's the forecast for business travel coming back?
Man, that is as my parents used to say, the $6 million question, or $6,000 question, whatever it is. It's like gazing into a crystal ball because we have to determine, we have to look at, what's impacting the business community today. And so today, we have this variant of the COVID virus that's, making the business community a little, flight averse.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that what we will see in our community is a significant increase in the vaccinations so that we can get this spread of the COVID under control. I think that is the hinge point, not just for this community, but communities across the nation. Once we get this, this disease under control, I think the business community will be more inclined to fly, as they were in 2019.
I was going to say that a lot of business travel is to conferences and things like that, and talking to people that put on events. There's a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of people having a lot of fun doing live events, but there's still people who are nervous to put them on because we don't know what the numbers are looking like.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of pent up demand. People want to get out, but they're, and rightly so, they're a little apprehensive about flying with people who have elected not to be vaccinated, for whatever reason.
Hey, Mr. Miller, what's the something that people wouldn't know that happens at the airport, the connection to the community that happens and you want people to know about that we can let our listeners know here on ESPN Richmond?
That's happening to the airport, with the airport today? Well,
not just today, but anytime that you guys are involved in the community, that resources that people don't know about that you offer or they could do and happen at the airport.
I think one of the things that's underutilized today is today the traveler likes to have control of their destination. They want to know that when they get to the airport, they can be aware of what service is provided and how to get that service with less interaction as possible, reducing the touch point, so to speak, particularly in light of the fact that we have infectious diseases that have been on the rise. So I think one of the things that people need to be aware of today is that you can traverse through our airport and use your phone to get as much information as you need in terms of where to go get food, where, getting in and out of parking without interaction with human. And, so a lot of automation is in place now. A lot of things that people desire, we're moving towards in terms of being able to provide a service in an automated fashion so you can just get your stuff and go. Like, for example, grab and go food. You can go into the airport, order your food, and then pick it up, be ready to roll or fly, so to speak.
It's funny that a few years ago, and it wasn't that many years ago, if we're talking about reducing the touch point that you have with the customer.
Yeah.
In the past, it was always increasing that to give them hands-on service. And now because Rona showed up and stayed, we're looking at ways to reduce that, to make it more efficient and to really still give them the feel that they're getting a good experience. But it's a different world out there. Really quickly, so we're just about out of time. I always ask people who come on the program, what gives you hope, sir?
I think that being able to be in a platform like you provide, informing people, I think the informed person is the person who makes better decisions. So what gives me hope is when people get the right information and they can make better decisions based on that. I think the more information we get out, the better decisions people make, more people will fly.
On the mic with Mike's here, Will's here, ESPN Richmond 106. Mr. Miller, would like to thank you for coming on the program. What's an email address that how can people contact you or get more information about all the great things that's happening out at the airport?
You just hop on our website, fly2richmond.com.
right.
www.flyrichmond.com. Sorry.
I'd like to thank you for coming. So now you're part of the family. When you have things going on after you want to get the word out, make sure you give us a shout. We're always out here helping get the word out for the game changers in the area. Ready, sir. Thank you. Shout out to all the HBCUs once again. Thanks. Now take care.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye-bye.